Kicho Chinko Chewaki Chewbacca ho 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 ho. No, I'm not Jabba the Hutt, even though I do have his little friend here, Sebastian Scrum, from Disney World, actually. Got that. We went on a trip in February with my son for his 18th birthday slash year he graduated high school from Galaxy's Edge Store. Pretty cool. His head moves and he talks, and it's a very interesting figure. But that's not why we're here today with the Imperial Collector. That's me, the Imperial Collector. Today's episode is going to be a good one. It's with one of my favorite characters. We're doing two characters, but very definitely one of my favorite characters, Cad Bane. Specifically, Cad Bane as seen in Star Wars, the Book of Boba Fett series on Disney+. Now, we've already went over Boba Fett with his armor that he cleaned up a little bit, that he got from the Mandalorian, who got it from the second figure we're going to look at today, and that is Cobb Vanth, who is played by Timothy Olyphant, who you might know, from the show Justified, or actually a few episodes of The Office. But Cad Bane will be first, and he is definitely one of my favorite figures. His character doesn't really change a lot from the animated to the live screen. His outfit is kind of the same, but it does change a little. There's some tweaks in there, and we'll go over that during today's episode. Okay, so first of all, before we go over the Hot Toys figure, that, as you'll see, I've actually already unboxed. But we have the box here. We're going to go through the accessories and do a figure review, which is kind of like an unboxing, but I've already got him posed, and I've already put him up on the shelf. He was one of those that I talked about in an episode before. I just couldn't wait. I had to go ahead and open him and display him, and said, we'll do that video later on. And speaking of that, I do apologize. Last weekend, I did not drop a new video. We've been sick for a few weeks. I'm pretty sure it was a new form of that dreaded thing we've all known for a few years now. It was some form of COVID, I'm pretty sure. So stay healthy out there. So first of all, before we go over the Hot Toys figure, I want to show you real quickly. I do have, you can see how, like I was saying, Cad Bane has been in a lot of series, but he really doesn't change a lot. In fact, he was in a recent animated called Tales of the Underworld, and it kind of shows how Cad Bane became a bounty hunter and how he was a child and grew up on his home planet, and it's kind of interesting. Go and watch it there on Disney+. But we first see him in the Clone Wars, and this is the Black Series figure. I'll show you that where there's not a glare there. Black Series that I have not opened. Some of them I do open and display. This one particularly, I have on a shelf where, I have on a wall that they're all there together with some other Cad Banes. But that is, his first appearance in the Clone Wars. And then we have another appearance in the Bad Batch. Now you'll see on this figure, he doesn't have his big coat, like his cowboy coat, his gunslinger coat, like the Old West. This one is a little different. He has on like some armor. Trying to get that out of the light there. He has like some armor, and he doesn't have that big coat. And you'll see with these Black Series figures, the boxes and everything are very detailed, and they do have a thing where you set them sideways and they'll like link together with the other figures in the series. So that was him from Bad Batch. And then here he is, the one we're going to review today, from the Book of Boba Fett. That's the Black Series figure of the version of Cad Bane from the Book of Boba Fett. I'm sorry for that glare right there. And of course, like I said, you do that side view and it would show the different figures from that set. So first of all, we're going to take his box here. Now again, box art, very cool. We got Cad Bane there and like a gunslinger pose. He has him down here, and then of course he's on the side. Now, you will notice that this is the deluxe version, and the deluxe version came with actually a secondary figure. And the secondary figure, which I'll show you here, just a minute. That's that cover art. That's that secondary figure. And his name which right at the moment escapes me, and for some reason it is not written on the box. I know it's Todo. It's supposed to be kind of like a dog, kind of like Dorothy's dog there. Yeah, Todo 360, Todo 360. That's a little droid that he has in Clone Wars, and we never actually see that droid in the Book of Boba Fett, but they included him with the deluxe version. I'm not sure why. It's cool to have an extra figure, but you know, I don't really understand it. But yeah, there's that title card. Again, great job with that. They always do. So far, I've only been kind of disappointed with one, and that was the one that was in the Sabine Wren figure. It was very plain, and Sabine Wren is one of my favorite characters, as you'll know from watching this series. So something very cool about the Cad Bane we have is the accessories. Now, he does come with several hands. He does come with a very detailed fire prop here. It actually looks like the accelerant is blue here, and then it turns to white in the fire, like it's coming out of a gauntlet with gasoline, like an accelerant igniting that. And he does have gauntlets, so he would be shooting fire. He does have several hands, and you'll notice, as on most of the show, I think all the iterations of him in the series, is he has on these fingerless gloves. So you'll have different hands for him there. There's some punching hands. What I have on him are these gripping weapons hands, but he's got fists. He's got two sets of fists, and he's got two sets of hands that are kind of this type of maneuver. Just kind of a regular pose there with those hands. Put that up for right now. Now, one of the coolest things is that this figure, not only can you move his eyes, but he also comes with different facial expressions. So he comes with two head sculpts that kind of magnetically fit. Can I get this box open? That magnetically fit into his head. And I'll show you those right now. It's really kind of cool. It's not an entire head. It's just on the back here. You see there's like two things here, and you just pop it into his faceplate, and it shows him there. That's just the main kind of his normal just face. He's always kind of scowling. There's another one where he's kind of gritting his teeth. He's baring his teeth at you. There's that one. Like I said, on the back, it does have two little things where you can mess with his eyes on there as well. And it looks like there are two accessories for Todo 360. Some different legs that you can put on him. But I do have both of them in kind of their jetpack stance, and I'll show you that in just a moment and explain that to you. But those faces are kind of cool, how you can switch those out. And those are the accessories for this figure. We'll go ahead and show you, even though you can see him over there. We'll get him right in front of the camera and get a detailed view. Now, just like I did with Balin's skull, I have posed this figure exactly like I have it on my shelf, exactly like I want it, so I'm not going to move it. I will move Todo 360, and we'll actually show you him first. Here he is. That's his robot, his little droid. And he does have booster rockets on his feet, so he's like blasting off. And he has a little stand here where it can make him look like he's floating. So that's him, Todo 360. Kind of a neat little figure to have a secondary. And now here he is, Cad Bane. Excuse me. Very, very detailed figure. And you notice there, the head sculpt that I have is the one where he's growling at you with his teeth. You'll see there, right there up close, that head sculpt there. So you'll also notice that he does have these blue gauntlets. The blue gauntlets are the one that will shoot fire. Particularly this one. It actually has the accelerant tube here that's clear. So it's like there's liquid going through it, and you could pop that in there and it'd be shooting fire. We do have the Boba Fett figure that we put the fire prop in to where it looks like he's shooting fire, and that was from the 2-pack from the Book of Boba Fett. Actually, excuse me, I think that was from the Mandalorian, where we see Boba Fett first of all without his armor, and then we see him with his armor. But that figure does have that fire. Now you will see that his boots down here, they do have his rocket boosters on there, so he can like press a button and blast off. So that's kind of the stance I've got him in. His hat does come off, and he's got a very detailed hat. It's kind of a suede material that goes on there, and it is very detailed with his face, the top of his head. He has kind of that, he has a breather on. It has the wires to his breather on the back, and I've got his coat kind of in a position where he's flying up, so his coat's kind of in the wind, but you'll see the back to his breather back here, and the tubes going in. He's got a very detailed uniform on where he has like a gun belt with like refill cartridges for his weapons, for his guns. He's also got some like communicator things and some insignias up there that are on his uniform. And I love the head sculpt. The lines in his forehead and just those teeth. Those teeth are just crazy. The detail they have in that face is just very scary. And this is the pose that I do have him in, and it is very cool though. We'll put that hat back on, and you can kind of, do it different ways. You could tilt it up, tilt it down, kind of thing. Just kind of pose it however you want to. Now, if you don't want him like flying, there are in the box, I didn't show this, you can take the boosters and just pop them right off, and he also has refill gun cartridges around here as well, around his boot, that the rockets are attached to. You can just pop those off, and there's actually little sections of the gun, the little gun belt that goes on the boots that pops right back in there. And you could stand them up straight or something like that. But I thought it was neat, since it came with it, to have the rocket boost effect with the little fire coming down here, that I would use that. So that's him. That is Cad Bane as seen in Boba Fett. And this is the Hot Toys version. Of course, you see his little nameplate there, kind of a standard nameplate like we've seen with these figures from Hot Toys. He does have the dynamic flagpole, which connects to his waist there, and you can maneuver it several different ways. Like he's flying, he could be flying backwards, shooting guns. And the bottom does have one we've seen before, which is like gritty sand, and it does have like little feet rests there where you're supposed to put the feet, but I didn't do that because I got him flying. So we'll go ahead and put Toto back up here like I have him displayed with him, and we'll set him to the side, and we'll go over our next figure. Now, the next figure was a very interesting character that popped up in The Mandalorian to start with, and then he was also in Book of Boba Fett, and that's Cobb Vanth. He ends up being the sheriff or the magistrate of Mos Pelga, which is the city that they're in there in the Book of Boba Fett. But he does have Boba Fett's armor. He got it from some Jawas who got it originally from the remnants of the Sarlacc pit, Carcoon, there when Jabba's barge, you'll notice in Return of the Jedi, Jabba's sailing barge, and Luke and Leia was there, and Han, and I think it was Han that knocked Boba Fett's rockets, or it was Chewbacca. I do not remember. I need to go back and watch those movies again. But one of them knocked Boba Fett, and like his booster rockets went off, and he went flying down into the Sarlacc pit. He escapes from it evidently, but he doesn't have his armor. And so Cobb Vanth buys his armor from some Jawas and wears that for a while until the Mandalorian meets up with him and wonders why this person that's not a Mandalorian, has Mandalorian armor, and ends up getting it from him. And then Cobb Vanth just wears the outfit he has on up under there, just kind of like his sheriff's outfit. Now, the way that I have him displayed is without the Boba Fett armor, because I do have a Boba Fett with the armor on, with that tattered up armor from the 2-pack we went over before. We still do have another Boba Fett to go over. In another episode, we'll go over him and Fennec Shand. But that's the Boba Fett that he's repainted the armor. And you see him in Mandalorian right towards the end. But then you do see him in Book of Boba Fett through the whole thing where he's painted the armor and changed his outfit a little bit. But I have taken it off of Cobb Vanth, so we'll show you the armor. There's the card. It's just awesome like they have been. You'll see him there. It's just really an awesome figure. And there's actually a crate dragon in the background there. That was part of the Book of Boba Fett. So, I just have him standard, which I'll show you in a few moments. But he did come fully dressed with all of Boba Fett's armor. His chest plate, little undershirt there. It has Boba Fett's gauntlets, the ones that shoot fire, and just the one that shot out rockets, similar to one that all the Mandalorians have. He has his shoulder pads. Of course, one of them has the mythosaur on there, as you can see. His shoulder pads that he has. He has his knee rocket boosters there. He has his back plate. Kind of goes on there. And he also does have his rocket. His jetpack. Very detailed jetpack. Very cool detailed jetpack. Now this one does not have the rocket. It has something that, well, it might be a rocket. I'm not sure. I don't remember him shooting that off in there. If he does, let me know in the comments. But I know it's a different... Boba Fett kind of has his back, his regular Mandalorian armor rocket in the Book of Boba Fett. But it comes with this one that I thought was really like a light on there. But that comes with it. It also has the blast effects that we do love, like it's fire, like it's blasting off. You can hook those to there, and it's like the pack is blasting off. So we'll put that there. It does come with an extra gun, kind of like a rifle. A rifle almost looks like an AK, but it's a laser rifle, of course, being Star Wars. He does come with several sets of hands, kind of like gripping weapons hands. And he does have fingerless gloves, again, like several of the Star Wars characters seem to have. Kind of padded looking gloves there. He has a set of hands that just kind of regular stance hands. Maybe like he's waving somebody off. And of course he does have Boba Fett's helmet. The Boba Fett helmet. The visor comes down, as we've seen. But again, very detailed Boba Fett's helmet. Even the inside is kind of detailed there, like it would be actual Mandalorian armor helmet. Like you could put it right on. So that's a pretty awesome... Oh, excuse me. That is a pretty awesome figure. Those accessories, which we'll actually see the figure right now. Just put this top back on here. Uh-oh. A little technical difficulty getting it set back up. Everything does have a place and does have a way that it sits in these boxes and these plastic shells here that the figures come in. So if you don't get them back just right, it will not shut or close correctly. So we're going to get this put up and show you the figure. Okay. Oops. About knocked out Cad Bane there. Okay. Here he is, Cobb Vanth. Now, this is a very cool detailed figure also. And I do have him with a drink in his hand. I'm going to take that out because that might fall out. But take a look at that. I mean, that's like water or some type of wine. And it looks like an actual glass bottle. with the liquid in there, and it has like a mesh netting on it, like it's real net. That's really cool. This is Cobb Vanth as portrayed by Timothy Olyphant, right there. Very good likeness to the character, to the actor. So it's really a cool figure. He has on a gun belt. He has kind of like a pistol there. It's like a leatherette gun belt. He has like some pockets on his pants over here that are really detailed and neat, with like something, maybe a communicator or some type of signaling device or something like that. He does have some like spare, like a gun belt again on the back there. You'll see like he has some gun cartridges over there, as well as, I'm not sure what that is. It looks like a map or something that's like on his pocket. I'm not really sure, but he has like a leather pocket there. He has on two belts. He has on like a regular belt, and then he has on a gun belt. And these pants are like patched, you know, because they live out in the desert. They live on Tatooine, first of all. But his clothes are kind of, you can tell they're old. They're kind of worn material. And he has on a bandana, and his bandana kind of is threadbare. But his hair is very detailed, like it's real hair there. His boots look like real boots. It's really a detailed figure. Something cool about this is the stand. The stand is very different. It's like wood. It like wood plank, like he's on a wood floor. I'm trying to tilt that down where you can see it. He's like standing on a wood floor, which is kind of reminiscent of like a cowboy would be back in an old west town, would go into the saloon or something, and the saloon would have a floor like this. I'm not sure if that's what they were going for, but he does have kind of like a saloon there. It doesn't have a wood floor like this, but very interesting. And you do see his logo there, his nameplate there, Star Wars, and it says Cobb Vanth. And he is the sheriff or the magistrate of Mos Pelga. So that's pretty cool. And like I said, that drink bottle doesn't always want to stay in there. There we go. That's the way I have him, kind of like he's about to take a swig there. But there we do have Cobb Vanth and Cad Bane, as seen in, Cobb Vanth you see in The Mandalorian, and then Cobb Vanth and Cad Bane you do see in the Book of Boba Fett show on Disney Plus, which I hope they're going to make a season 2, or possibly maybe Cobb Vanth and Cad Bane do show up again. Excuse me, in the Grogu and in the Mandalorian Grogu movie that comes out next year. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Imperial Collector. I am again Oliver Dean McCurry, the Imperial Collector. Join us next time for our next episode. I'm not sure what that's going to be right now. We do have a few more to do in the Hot Toys line. I am going to move over to the side a little bit and do a Ahsoka series, Black Series 6-inch figure review. I've recently, with some eBay auctions and things like that, got the entire set except for a couple of them that I'll get at some point, but we're going to do a review of those at some point. And also those episodes we talked about in the Sabine Wren video, we're going to do some different types of episodes coming in the future. Hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. May the Force be with you.